Dun, 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 dun. CryptoKin Sam Bankman-Fried faces decades in jail after guilty verdict. What happens to Bitcoin price if spot ETF isn't approved? And Bitcoin is set to rocket to $150,000 by the middle of 2025 as the world's largest cryptocurrency begins a new cycle, Bernstein says. Guys, we've got so much to talk about, so much to cover right now. A lot of crazy news. Make sure you stick around for the whole entire video to get all the important information. I'm your host, Amr. Let's not waste any more time and jump right into it. So firstly, we got this tweet coming in from Richard Hart at Richard Hart Win. The Fed has sent a cease and desist to #Bitcoin magazine over some t-shirts with Fed now on them. Bitcoin Magazine's counsel has responded, pretty funny considering that many US banks currently have delayed deposits because of errors in the ACH system. The issue could be stemming from the clearinghouse, a core payment system infrastructure owned by some of the largest commercial banks in the world. TCH has experienced a processing issue with a single automated clearinghouse file. TCH is working with the impacted financial institutions on the matter, a spokesperson for the association said in an emailed statement to Reuters. So here we can see this letter coming from to the Bitcoin thing. This is from the Federal Reserve Financial Services, talking about their cease and desist. To resolve this matter, we request that Bitcoin Magazine permanently and immediately cease and desist from using the Fed Now mark and any other marks, names, or designations. That's hilarious. Very interesting. Next, we got this tweet coming in from Dennis Porter at Dennis_Porter. #Bitcoin doesn't go down. Bank of America, Chase, and U.S. bank systems down today as direct deposit systems crash. U.S. Bank, Bank of America, Chase, and Wells Fargo are among banks with direct deposit payment issues today, with users reporting systems down. Very interesting, guys. Nice, motivates to add some Bitcoin. I wonder how true this article is. I don't know. It's just a screenshot. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys have had any issues or know of any issues that are happening with this. Next, we got this tweet coming in from British Huddle. I'm trying to run through these tweets fast because I want to talk about the SBF situation, so make sure you stick around for that. BlackRock, #Bitcoin is a flight to quality. Fidelity, #Bitcoin is exponential gold. The marketing taglines are emerging. Pick your fighter, whose tagline will emerge next. Roughly 50,000 financial advisors worldwide will be calling $130 trillion of capital over the next 5 years using these taglines to sell an allocation to #Bitcoin spot ETF they're selling. And you still don't think you need to get one #Bitcoin. Rex Monty said, exponential gold is decent but lazy. I think they haven't quite nailed down their slogan for it yet, but they're close. They'll get a good one when they can sell and everyone. Finally, BlackRock will adopt it. Pick my fighter, Bitcoin. Self-custody, Bitcoin. That's my fighter. Yeah, I definitely choose Bitcoin over an ETF, but I know a lot of people are kind of concerned about that, but see how it plays out. Next, the big news. Crypto Sam Bankman-Fried faces decades in jail after guilty verdict. So let's get into it. So the jury delivered its verdict after less than 5 hours of deliberations. It concludes a stunning fall from grace for the 31-year-old former billionaire, once known as a king of crypto, who now faces decades in jail. Bankman-Fried was arrested last year after his firm FTX went bankrupt. His sentencing has been set up for 28th March of next year, so that's 2024. Cryptocurrency exchange FTX was once valued at $32 billion, but when it went bankrupt in November last year, $8 billion in customer funds went missing. Sam Bankman-Fried perpetrated one of the biggest financial frauds in American history, a multi-billion-dollar scheme designed to make him the king of crypto, U.S. Attorney Damian Williams said in a statement after the verdict. This case has always been about lying, cheating, and stealing, and we have no patience for it, he added. Bankman-Fried stood in front of the jury with his hands clasped as the verdict was read, while his parents sat there with their heads in their hands. The jury found him guilty of lying to investors and lending to stealing billions of dollars from FTX, helping to precipitate its collapse. He had been charged with 7 counts of fraud and money laundering. Oh my god, that's crazy. Bless the US government for this one. Shout out to them. They're huge W for all of us, but huge W in their eyes too. He had pleaded not guilty to all charges, maintaining that while he had made mistakes, he acted in good faith. Yes. After the verdict, Bankman-Fried's lawyer Mark Cohen said, "We respect the jury's decision, but we are disappointed with the result. Mr. Bankman-Fried maintains his innocence and will continue to vigorously fight the charges against him," he added. A spokesperson for Bankman-Fried did not immediately respond to a BBC request for comment on whether he planned to appeal against the verdict. 3 of his former close friends and colleagues, including his ex-girlfriend Caroline Ellison, pleaded guilty and agreed to testify against him in hopes of reducing their own sentences. Very interesting, guys. let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this situation. I think he's going to get charged regardless, and no matter how much he tries to delay it and fight it, it's not going to work. The prosecution presented evidence that Bankman-Fried's crypto trading firm Alameda Research received deposits on behalf of FTX customers from the early days of the exchange, when traditional banks were unwilling to let it open an account. Instead of safeguarding those funds, as Bankman-Fried repeatedly pledged to do in public, he used the money to repay Alameda lenders, buy property, and make investments and political donations. 5 of the charges, Bankman-Fried was found guilty of carrying a maximum prison term of 20 years, with a 5-year maximum on other 2 charges. That creates a potential maximum sentence of 110 years, although it is unlikely that the judge will actually impose that. Bankman-Fried is expected to face a sentence lasting decades, as he should. When FTX went bankrupt, Alameda owed the firm $8 billion. He took the money, he knew it was wrong, he did it anyway, because he thought he was smarter and better, and that he could figure his way out of it. Assistant U.S. Attorney Nicholas Roos said in his closing arguments, Bankman-Fried made the risky move of taking the stand in his own defense, hoping to convince jurors that prosecutors had failed to prove he acted with criminal intent. There was bad judgment, said his lawyer, Mr. Cohen, offering a portrait of a nerdy mathematician who was overwhelmed and his companies grew rapidly. This does not constitute a crime. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. Whatever. Speaking to the BBC last year, the entrepreneur appeared calm wearing his trademark t-shirts and shorts. During the interview, which was filmed in the Bahamas, he came across as collected and as someone who genuinely thought they had not done anything wrong in the eyes of the law, as opposed to the awkward personality that had been captured in other interviews on social media. In court, Bankman-Fried defended the money transfers between his firms as permissible and testified that he was largely unaware of the financial hole described by his deputies until a few weeks before the FTX collapse last year. The downfall left many customers unable to recover their funds. Lawyers working on the bankruptcy case have since said they have recovered the vast majority of missing money. Bankman-Fried's trial was closely watched for its implications for the crypto industry as a whole, which has failed to recover from last year's market turmoil. Bankman-Fried himself faces potential second trial on charges, including campaign finance violations. Judge Lewis Kaplan asked prosecutors to let him know by February if they will move forward with the case, which could affect his sentencing date. Crazy news, guys. So it's not completely wrapped up yet. By March, it should be, or 28th of March, it should be wrapped up. But insane, guys. Next, we got this article coming from CoinDesk saying, what happens to the Bitcoin price if a spot ETF isn't improved? Now, guys, I truthfully believe, in my personal opinion, I think the Bitcoin spot ETF is going to happen, but you know, there's always a chance that it doesn't. So let's get into that. So it's not surprising that the analyst expects to see a negative short-term price action if Bitcoin spot ETF is rejected by the SEC. Analysts, however, pointed out that the Bitcoin certainly doesn't hinge its existence on an ETF. While markets appear to have fully embraced the idea that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission will approve a spot Bitcoin ETF, timing unclear, it's worth considering the chance of continued rejections and what that might mean for the price of crypto. It's no surprise that analysts believe there would be at least some negative short-term price impact on the SEC's regulations, but what to expect following the knee-jerk reaction? We could see a move downward and the target could be below $30,000, said Laurent Cassis, a crypto trading advisor at the CEC Capital. Any decline, Cassis noted, would have to be balanced against other bullish activity catalysts, such as approaching halving. A cluster at 25,000 is highly unlikely unless the SEC is categorical, but I sense it will be back to the drawing board situation and hope will still be in the back of everyone's minds. Very, very interesting, guys. So hopefully it does get approved. I think it will, but it's a lot of information for you guys in case it doesn't. Next, we got this article coming in from Markets Insider. Bitcoin is set to rocket to $150,000 by the middle of 2025 as the world's largest cryptocurrency begins a new cycle, Bernstein says. So let's get into it. So, in note of initiating coverage of crypto miners, Bernstein said Bitcoin is on the brink of potentially big industry market movers, including Bitcoin's upcoming halving and the likely approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs. You may not like Bitcoin as much as we do, but a dispassionate view of Bitcoin as a commodity suggests a turn of the cycle. The report, led by global digital senior analyst Gautam Chugani, said a good idea is only as good as its timing. According to the note, Bitcoin historically has rallied whenever there is halving, a predetermined event in which the amount of Bitcoin received for the mining crypto is slashed. This happens every 4 years, with the next halving set for April 2024. As halving essentially cuts down on Bitcoin supply, crypto miners are less likely to sell accumulated tokens because they anticipate higher future prices. Already 70% of Bitcoin tokens have not sold in the last 12 months, Bernstein pointed out. At the same time, the currency is undergoing increased demand from new buyers, especially with the Securities and Exchange Commission expected to approve spot Bitcoin ETF soon. Though the SEC originally tried to block such efforts, its rejection of the Grayscale crypto ETF was defeated in court in August, potentially paving the way for regulatory turnabout. We expect US regulatory ETFs to be watershed moment for crypto, and we expect the SEC approval by late 2023 or quarter 1 2024, Chugani wrote. Post-halving, we expect the Bitcoin spot demand via ETFs to outstrip miners selling by 6 to 7 times at peak. We expect Bitcoin ETFs to be equivalent to 9 to 10% of spot Bitcoin in circulation by 2028. Insane news, guys. That's all we have for today's video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts on today's news are. And until the next video, I hope you guys have a fantastic day and good luck trading. See you on the next one.